There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the fog begins to lift, when the chaos, the heartbreak, and the confusion you once cursed begin to reveal their hidden purpose. You look back, and suddenly it all makes sense. The people who left, the doors that closed, the silence that once felt unbearable. They weren't punishments, they were alignments. They were sacred rearrangements guiding you to where you were always meant to be. You see, life was never against you, it was for you, even when it disguised itself as struggle. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every detour was a secret hand redirecting you toward your true path. The universe wasn't ignoring your desires, it was perfecting the timing, shaping your character, refining your readiness. You thought you were losing everything, but you were only shedding what could not go with you. You thought things were falling apart, but they were falling into place. The shift that is happening now, the one you can feel deep in your spirit, is not random. It's the visible proof of all the invisible work that has been taking place within you, because reality always mirrors the inner state. Once you decided to rise, life began to respond. Once you surrendered, everything started to move. The moment you released fear, opportunities began to open. You didn't have to chase what was yours. You only needed to become the version of yourself who could receive it. And that's what this shift truly is, a revelation. It's the unveiling of divine order. It's the moment you realize that nothing was ever wasted. The heartbreak taught you compassion. The waiting taught you patience. The uncertainty taught you faith. Every season had meaning. Every delay had purpose. Now, as the new begins to unfold, you'll see that every step, even the painful ones, was divinely calculated. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. Life was never delaying you. It was developing you. The shift is your confirmation that the universe has always known what it was doing. So stand tall in this moment. Trust the timing. Don't mourn what's gone. It fulfilled its role. Don't fear what's coming. It's an answer to everything you've endured. The storm has passed. The lessons have settled. And now, the alignment is clear. This shift will prove one sacred truth. Everything, absolutely everything, was always working for you. Even when life appeared to be unraveling, when everything seemed to slip out of control, something sacred was at work beneath the surface. The unseen alignment, the quiet orchestration of divine intelligence was shaping every experience, every delay, and every encounter with exquisite precision. You couldn't see it then, because divine order rarely announces itself in the noise of confusion. It moves silently, with a wisdom that only becomes visible when you look back. What felt like chaos was never chaos at all. It was movement. The careful reorganization of the unseen into the seen. The shifting of invisible forces to bring you exactly where you needed to be. In moments of uncertainty, you may have believed you were lost. The path ahead seemed unclear, the timing unbearable, and the disappointments too heavy to carry. Yet even then, a greater hand was guiding every step. Life was not punishing you, it was preparing you. Each closed door redirected you towards something better aligned with your true purpose. Each delay was protection in disguise, giving what was meant for you the time it needed to mature. You were never off track. You were simply walking through the hidden corridors of divine timing. There were moments you wanted answers, but silence was the only response. And in that silence, unseen forces were aligning people, places, and events to support your highest evolution. You couldn't see the full picture because you were standing too close to it. Like a tapestry being woven, the threads of your life needed to be pulled in opposite directions for beauty to emerge. The tension wasn't punishment, it was part of creation. Every disappointment was weaving depth into your spirit, every loss strengthening your roots in faith. The unseen alignment often hides behind disguise. What looks like a setback is sometimes the very shift that changes your direction toward fulfillment. The heartbreak you thought broke you may have freed you from what was never truly yours. The rejection you feared might have been the redirection that saved you. Life has always been wiser than your impatience, kinder than your expectations, and more precise than your plans. You were being led even when you didn't realize you were moving. And one day, when you look back, you'll see it clearly. How everything fit, how each misstep was part of the perfect choreography. The people who entered and left your life did so on schedule. The opportunities that appeared and vanished were timed to shape your faith. Every prayer was heard, every tear recorded, every moment divinely measured. The universe was never ignoring you. It was aligning with your vibration. It was responding to who you were becoming, not who you once were. What once appeared random now reveals its pattern. The confusion becomes clarity, the loss becomes liberation, and the delay becomes divine design. Life was never out of order. It was divinely arranged. The unseen was always working in your favor, turning even your detours into destiny. What you once called waiting was never a punishment. It was preparation. The illusion of delay is one of life's most misunderstood blessings. You thought you were standing still, but in truth, everything was unfolding exactly as it needed to, in perfect rhythm with divine timing. The pause you resented was not a denial. It was a sacred interval where the unseen forces of life were aligning everything for your highest good. What felt like nothing happening was, in reality, the invisible construction of your next chapter. During those long seasons of stillness, when doors refused to open and prayers seemed unanswered, something deeper was occurring. You were being shaped. Your faith was being strengthened, your patience refined, and your inner foundation fortified for what was coming. The dream you were waiting for required a stronger version of you, one capable of sustaining it. Life wasn't withholding your blessing, it was building your readiness. The universe never rushes greatness. It matures it quietly, in the waiting. You see, timing is not about delay. It's about alignment. The right thing at the wrong time can still collapse. That's why divine timing often disguises itself as waiting. While you were worrying, the pieces were positioning themselves. While you were doubting, the right connections, opportunities, and moments were being woven together. Every not yet was a whisper from the divine saying, "Hold on. I am not done preparing the way." You were never forgotten, just being refined for the fullness of what was meant for you. Waiting often feels like emptiness, but it's actually expansion. It's the stretching of your capacity to receive more than you imagined. It's in the waiting that you learn trust, surrender, and stillness. The seed planted in the ground does not see the sunlight immediately, yet beneath the surface, its growing roots strong enough to withstand the storm. Likewise, you were growing roots, the kind of inner strength that would allow your blessings to last, not just arrive. The weight was building your endurance, your clarity, and your wisdom. And when the moment finally comes, you will understand why it couldn't have happened sooner. You'll see that every delay was divine calibration. Every door that didn't open was protecting you from what wasn't stable. Every unanswered prayer was redirecting you towards something greater than you dared to imagine. What you mistook for stagnation was sacred momentum, the kind that moves mountains quietly before revealing the miracle. So now, when life seems paused again, don't rush to escape the waiting. Instead, breathe into it. Know that what looks like delay is actually destiny in the making. Every pause has purpose. Every waiting season carries the whisper of divine perfection. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, becoming exactly who you were meant to become. The illusion of delay will soon dissolve, and when it does, you'll realize that everything was right on time. Your destiny was never late. It was simply ripening to perfection. The moments that broke you were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to define you. The pain, the loss, the confusion, they were not punishments, but profound teachers sent to awaken something deeper within you. Life, in its divine intelligence, knows that growth rarely comes from comfort. It emerges from contrast, from the tension between what was and what is becoming. Without darkness, you could never recognize the brilliance of the light. Without loss, you would never understand the value of what remains. Every difficult experience you faced was shaping the very strength that now carries you forward. You may have wondered why it had to hurt so much, why certain chapters had to close so painfully, or why confusion clouded your vision when you needed clarity the most. But the truth is, contrast creates awareness. When everything is easy, you grow complacent. When life shakes you, it wakes you. It forces you to question, to seek, to remember your own power. Every challenge pushed you closer to the truth of who you really are. Not the version shaped by fear or expectation, but the one born from resilience, faith, and divine understanding. The pain you felt wasn't meaningless. It was purposeful. Every tear carved wisdom into your soul. Every loss stripped away illusion. Every confusion humbled your ego and opened your heart to something greater than logic. You learned that control was an illusion, that surrender is not weakness, and that even in your darkest nights, light was never truly gone, only hidden, waiting for your recognition. The necessary contrast of life is what gives depth to your being. Imagine a painting without shadows. It would be flat and lifeless. The same applies to your existence. The shadows gave your story depth, dimension, and character. They helped you appreciate the light when it returned. You began to see beauty in simplicity, gratitude in small blessings, and peace in the stillness that once felt unbearable. The very things that once caused you pain became the foundation of your wisdom. Every heartbreak softened your spirit. Every failure taught you humility. Every loss deepened your compassion. These contrasts were not setbacks, but sacred steps in your evolution. They were the divine chisels shaping the masterpiece of your soul. You were never being broken, You were being refined. The fire didn't burn you, it forged you. The darkness didn't defeat you, it revealed your light. Now, when you look back, you understand that the shadow was never the enemy, it was the teacher. It was the necessary backdrop that made your light visible. Without the contrast, you wouldn't have awakened to your power, your purpose, or your divine connection. You were never forsaken, only guided through the night so that you could discover the dawn within yourself. And now that you've seen both the darkness and the light, you walk with a strength that no storm can shake. The greatest transformation you will ever experience does not begin outside of you. It begins within. The real shift, the one that alters the course of your destiny, happens the moment your inner world changes. It's not the circumstances that shape your life, but the consciousness through which you perceive them. The world you see is a mirror reflecting the thoughts you hold, the emotions you nurture, and the beliefs you embody. When you begin to transform internally, everything external begins to realign to match that vibration. The change doesn't start with the world, it starts with you. For so long you may have tried to change what was outside, the situations, the people, the outcomes, believing that peace would come once everything around you looked right. But the truth is, lasting transformation never flows from the outside in. It flows from the inside out. The moment you shift from fear to faith, from doubt to trust, from resistance to surrender, you activate a new frequency that calls everything in your life into harmony with your inner state. Life is not happening to you, it's responding to you. When your mind becomes still and your heart open, new realities begin to emerge. The same situations that once overwhelmed you start to lose their power. The same limitations that once defined you begin to dissolve. The inner shift changes the way you interpret everything. What once looked like an obstacle now appears as guidance. What once triggered you now teaches you. The world hasn't changed, your perception has. And perception is creation. This inner transformation doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds quietly, often during the moments when you think nothing is happening. It happens when you choose peace instead of reaction, gratitude instead of complaint, forgiveness instead of blame. Each small choice shifts your vibration inch by inch, moment by moment, until suddenly your outer world begins to mirror the love, calm, and confidence that have taken root within you. The shift is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that even imperfection serves a purpose. It's the awakening to the truth that your power was never in control, but in consciousness. You begin to realize that when you change your thoughts, you change your experience. When you change your energy, you change your reality. The outer rearrangement is inevitable once the inner alignment is achieved. And then one day you notice that things start to flow more easily. People respond differently. Opportunities appear effortlessly. It's not luck, it's resonance. You no longer chase what you desire, you attract it because you've become it. The peace you once sought from the world now radiates from within you. The love you once craved is now the energy you embody. That is the power of inner transformation. It is the quiet miracle that proves all real change begins inside, the unseen, and once your inner world shifts, your entire outer reality will rearrange itself in your favor. There comes a sacred moment in every journey when the pieces begin to fit, when the fog lifts and what once felt meaningless starts to make sense. That is the revelation of purpose. It is the moment you realize that nothing in your life was wasted, that every detour, heartbreak, and disappointment was part of a divine equation perfectly designed to bring you home to yourself. What you thought was delay was direction. What you thought was loss was liberation. Life was never punishing you, it was preparing you. For a long time, it seemed as though things were working against you. Plans collapsed, relationships ended, opportunities vanished without explanation. You questioned your path, your timing, even your worth. Yet all the while, a higher intelligence was at work, rearranging the details, aligning unseen threads, and guiding you through experiences that would shape your character and awaken your purpose. Every no was clearing the path for the yes that truly belonged to you. Every closed door was divine protection in disguise. You see, purpose rarely reveals itself in the comfort of clarity. It is discovered in the fires of contrast, in the confusion, the loss, the silence. Because in those moments, you are stripped of illusion and forced to look within. You begin to ask deeper questions. You stop chasing approval and start seeking truth. What once mattered fades, and what truly matters begins to rise from within you. The very pain that made you question everything becomes the doorway through which your purpose enters. To your own journey, to your own purpose. When the shift finally unfolds, you start to see how everything was divinely timed. You realize that if even one event had been different, you might not have become the person you are now. The betrayals built your discernment. The waiting built your patience. The failures built your faith. The purpose was never hidden from you. It was being built through you. Each experience carved space for wisdom, compassion, and resilience, the very qualities that make you capable of fulfilling what you were born to do. Then comes the stillness, a deep knowing that nothing was ever random. You understand that the path you once cursed was the very one that delivered you to your calling. The people who left taught you independence. The times you felt lost taught you surrender. The moments you broke taught you how to heal others. Everything was necessary. Nothing was wasted. Even your mistakes carried messages, leading you toward the alignment of your higher self. And as you walk forward, you no longer fear detours, because you know they are divine directions in disguise. You no longer mourn the lost years, because you see how they prepared you for this season. The revelation of purpose brings peace. The peace that comes from knowing that life was never against you. It was always guiding you, shaping you, and using every experience to awaken your destiny. Every thread, even the tangled ones, was part of the divine tapestry of your becoming. There comes a point when the struggle becomes too heavy to carry, when the endless trying, fixing, and controlling no longer work. It is in that moment, when you finally exhale and release your grip, that the calm after surrender begins. This is not the calm that comes from everything being perfect. It's the peace that arrives when you stop demanding that it be. When you stop resisting what is, and instead trust the unseen flow of life. Everything that once felt against you begins miraculously to work for you. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. It's the recognition that there is a greater intelligence guiding your path, one that sees far beyond what your eyes can perceive. You stop fighting the current and allow it to carry you, trusting that even if you can't see where it's leading, it knows exactly where to go. The moment you surrender, the tension in your spirit begins to dissolve. The storm may still rage around you, but inside there is stillness. You stop asking, "Why is this happening?" and begin whispering, "I trust this even though I don't understand it yet." In surrender, life rearranges itself. The situations that once caused anxiety begin to shift effortlessly. The relationships that no longer align fade with grace. The opportunities meant for you appear naturally, without force. You start to realize that things don't fall apart, they fall into place. Every ending reveals a beginning that could only emerge once you released control. The peace that follows surrender is not passive, it is powerful. It carries a magnetic stillness that allows everything meant for you to find its way with ease. When you were resisting, you were moving against the current of divine flow. You thought you had to make everything happen on your own, to force timing, outcomes, and answers. But resistance only created friction and fatigue. Surrender dissolves that resistance. It opens you to receive what was already trying to reach you. It's in this surrender that miracles unfold quietly, not because you chase them, but because you created space for them. The calm you feel is the universe responding to your trust. And in that calm, understanding begins to bloom. You start to see why certain things didn't go your way, why delays were protection, and why loss was necessary for your evolution. You see that what you once called chaos was divine coordination. Everything you thought was working against you was actually guiding you closer to alignment. The very moments that broke you were the ones that opened your heart to truth. The calm after surrender is freedom. It's the release of control and the embrace of trust. You no longer rush or panic, you flow. You know that every experience, whether gentle or painful, carries purpose. The unseen is no longer frightening, it's sacred. Because now you understand that life was never meant to be wrestled into submission, it was meant to be trusted into harmony. And when you finally surrender, everything begins to work for you. When you look back at your journey, you see that nothing was ever wasted. Every storm refined you. Every delay prepared you. Every loss redirected you. The pieces that once felt scattered were never broken. They were being perfectly arranged for this very moment. The shift you are stepping into now is not by chance. It is the divine unveiling of everything that has been quietly aligning behind the scenes. You are no longer the same person who once doubted, feared, or resisted. You have been transformed from within. The unseen alignment has become visible. The waiting has revealed its purpose. The pain has revealed its power. And now everything that once seemed against you has turned in your favor. You stand at the threshold of fulfillment not because life suddenly changed, but because you did. The shift within you has called forth the reality that was always meant for you. So walk forward with peace in your heart and faith in your step. Trust the timing even when it's not clear. Trust the process even when it's slow. And most of all, trust that life has never made a mistake with you. Every experience was part of a higher plan that was always working for you, shaping you, protecting you, and guiding you home to your purpose. Your story is not one of delay or defeat, it's one of divine design. And this shift, this moment right now, is the living proof that everything has always been working for your highest good. Thank you for listening, and remember, the universe has never been late, never been wrong, and never once stopped working in your favor. There comes a time when what you asked for in secret begins to arrive. The inner vision becomes the outer experience. The feeling you once held behind closed eyes now walks beside you. It is sacred, it is real, and it is not to be shared with the world too soon. You must understand this: what comes from the Spirit is formed in silence, and it must be protected in silence. You prayed, you imagined, you felt it into being. Now that it has arrived, do not ruin it by shouting from the rooftops. For not all ears are meant to hear what God has done in your life. There are those who smile with you and pray against you. There are those who clap for your growth while wishing for your fall. And there are those whose minds are not ready to see the level you've entered. Their vibration will try to distort yours. When you speak too soon, you invite resistance. You give form to the invisible before it is fully grown. A seed that breaks the soil too early withers. A vision that's spoken too early shatters. Let them wonder, let them speculate, let them assume. Let the blessing take root. You owe no one an explanation for your favor. When divine alignment finds you, it's not for public discussion, it's for private gratitude. And when they ask what happened, smile and say, God knows. Because when the Most High blesses you, your only job is to protect the frequency that brought it into being. Speak only to the one who gave it to you. Whisper your thanks and keep walking. Let your silence echo louder than your words. Let your results do the speaking. You are not here to prove, you are here to live. So when the blessing comes, keep your mouth shut. Let the world see the light, but never reveal the flame. What is born in spirit is delicate in its early stages. Like a newborn child, it must be nurtured, held close, and kept warm in the secrecy of your soul. You may feel the urge to shout it to the world, to tell someone what you've received, what is unfolding, what is beginning to change in your life. But resist the temptation. For what has been formed in the unseen is still vulnerable, still taking shape, and exposing it to the world before its roots are deep can cause it to unravel. Every blessing you receive begins first as an idea, a feeling, a knowing within. It is not seen with the eyes, but felt in the heart. And it is in this invisible phase where it is most powerful yet most susceptible. The world cannot see what you feel, and because they cannot see it, they cannot honor it. This is why you must protect your blessing with silence. You may not realize it, but the moment you speak about what is unfolding spiritually, you bring it down into the realm of opinions, judgments, doubts, and energies that may not align with it. You transfer what was sacred into a space where people who don't understand your vision can dissect it, criticize it, and unintentionally project fear onto it. Not everyone is equipped to handle the light you carry. Not everyone can receive the joy you're manifesting without questioning its source. Not everyone will believe it's possible simply because they cannot see it for themselves. When you speak prematurely, you are inviting resistance. You give space for interference. The vibration you held so steadily in your spirit can begin to waver, not because the blessing has disappeared, but because you've let too many external voices into a space that was meant to be quiet and sacred. And once your inner knowing begins to shift, the outer reality follows. There is immense power in quiet confidence, in trusting what you feel without needing validation, in walking by faith and not by sight, and not by the sight of others either. There are moments where silence is not secrecy, it is wisdom. It is the sacred act of guarding what is precious before it is made permanent. The ancient seed does not argue with the soil. It buries itself deep, hidden from view, and trusts the light will find it. The butterfly does not ask for applause in the cocoon. It surrenders to the transformation. Knowing that the unveiling will be enough, you must do the same. Your blessing is not a performance, it is a promise. Keep it safe. Keep it silent. Let it speak for itself when it is ready. Hold your blessing like you would hold a flame in the wind, gently, steadily, protectively. Let it grow in the stillness, let it rise in the darkness. Let it become so strong within you that by the time the world sees it, it is too rooted to be moved. There will come a time when the results are undeniable, when your light speaks louder than your voice ever could, when your life reflects the miracle you kept sacred. Then and only then will the blessing be ready to be shared, not with words, but with presence, with evidence, with unshakable peace. Guard it. Guard your desires, guard your manifestations, not because they are weak, but because they are sacred. Let them mature in silence. Let them become reality in stillness. For what is born in spirit must be honored with reverence. It is not for the world to shake, it is for you to carry. And the greatest form of reverence is to let what is sacred remain untouched by the noise of the world. There is a deep wisdom in remaining silent about the most sacred things in your life. When something valuable is placed in front of those who do not have the capacity to appreciate it, it is not only wasted, it is often trampled, misunderstood, or mocked. That is why the phrase rings true. Do not cast pearls before swine. Your growth, your transformation, your elevation, these are the pearls. Not everyone has the eyes to see them or the heart to receive them. When you begin to rise, when you begin to shed the skin of who you once were, not everyone around you will celebrate it. Some will resist it, some will laugh at it, some will call it a phase, a fantasy, a delusion. Not because it is any of those things, but because it makes them uncomfortable. Your evolution threatens their comfort zone. Your awakening shakes the foundation of their limitation. And so they will try, consciously or unconsciously, to bring you back down to the version of you they were familiar with. The one who doubted, the one who needed their approval. You must understand, people will only meet you at the level of their own consciousness. If they have not done the work within, they will not understand the work you are doing in silence. If they have not seen beyond the veil of this world, they will not grasp what you are seeing with spiritual eyes. Sharing your higher self with lower energy is a betrayal of the divine within you. It is not an act of humility. It is a misuse of trust. Every time you share a sacred insight, a new dream, or a deep breakthrough with someone who is not ready to receive it, you open the door to distortion. Their words may be subtle, their energy might be passive, but the damage is done in the spirit. A seed once filled with faith now questions its potential. A dream that once felt destined now feels uncertain. Not because it changed, but because it was handed over to someone who could not recognize its worth. Your elevation is not for public debate. It is a private agreement between you and the divine. There is no need to explain yourself to those who cannot see beyond appearances. When people cannot understand your shift, they will often try to shame it, dismiss it, or minimize it. Let them talk, let them doubt, but do not hand them the blueprint to what God is building in you. You are no longer who you used to be, and that means some conversations can no longer be had, some relationships can no longer be maintained, some places can no longer be visited, and that's okay. Growth requires release. It requires discernment. It requires knowing that your light is not meant to shine for approval. It is meant to shine because it was given to you. Let your life speak for you. Let your transformation be seen, not announced. There is no need to convince anyone of what has happened within you. The ones who are meant to understand will see it without explanation. And those who never do, they were never your audience. So guard your pearls. Guard your peace. Guard your purpose. Speak to those who recognize the weight of your words. Share with those who walk the same path of inner knowing, and to the rest, offer silence. Not out of pride, but out of wisdom. Because not everyone deserves access to what's sacred. Not everyone is meant to witness the miracle. Your elevation is holy ground. Walk it in silence, carry it in reverence, and trust that what is real, what is true, what is divine needs no defense. What you focus on grows, what you feed with your attention becomes your reality. This is not metaphor, it is law. Energy flows where attention goes, and if your attention is constantly scattered outward, you weaken the very power that was meant to work within. There is an unseen power operating in silence, in secrecy, in stillness. When your mind is turned inward, anchored in your desire, centered in your vision, creation happens naturally. But the moment you begin to talk too much about it, explain it, defend it, you shift your power from internal faith to external validation, and the process begins to unravel. The mind is a tool, a servant of the spirit. It was never meant to be dragged by the noise of the world, but every time you speak about your blessing too soon or your vision too often, you pull your consciousness outward. You begin to care what others think. You begin to notice their reactions. You start to interpret their tone, their silence, their approval or lack of it. In doing this, you dilute the force that was once laser-focused on manifesting. You fragment your energy. Creation happens best in the invisible, in that quiet space between imagination and reality where you feel it real and live as though it's done, even when nothing around you confirms it. This is where the real work is done. This is where the miracle takes shape. But if you continually shift your gaze outward, you break the spell. You step out of the sacred and into the superficial. You go from creator to commentator, from master to messenger. And soon, instead of building the life you saw in your spirit, you are busy talking about it, justifying it, waiting for others to believe in it first. The spiritual path requires inward attention, not because the outer world is evil, but because it is noisy. And that noise can steal your clarity. When your attention is scattered across conversation, social validation, and constant updates, your spiritual power begins to leak. You were never meant to explain your process while you're still in it. Would a painter keep showing their canvas at every stage? Would a sculptor invite an audience halfway through the chiseling? No, they wait until the masterpiece is complete. Then and only then do they reveal it. You must do the same. Keep your mind inside the workshop of your imagination. Keep your attention locked on the end result. Speak only to yourself and to the divine within. Feel your blessing real in your inner world until it is so strong, so vivid, so natural, there is no longer any need to speak of it. It will begin to express itself through your energy, your actions, your presence. And when others finally notice, you won't have to explain. They will simply see you were given imagination for a reason. You were given stillness for a reason. These are the sacred tools, and they are most effective when used privately. The more attention you give to the outer world, the more power you give away. But when you keep your gaze inward, when you trust what you feel more than what you see, you become the architect of a reality that no one else can shake. So hold your energy close. Guard your attention like treasure. Let the world guess. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Your blessing is not for discussion. It is for demonstration. And the more you keep your attention within, the more powerfully the outer world will reflect the truth you've been living all along. Stay silent. Stay focused. Stay inward. What you do not speak of cannot be distorted. What you keep sacred cannot be stolen. And what you protect with your attention will flourish with divine force. Silence is the shield of those who are marked, guided, and chosen. When divine favor rests upon you, it speaks louder than words ever could. It does not need to be broadcasted, explained, or defended. It reveals itself in your energy, your alignment, your peace. And those who truly see through spiritual eyes will know something sacred is unfolding in your life without you saying a thing. The chosen are not loud. They are not desperate for recognition. They do not seek approval from the outside world. They have tasted something deeper, something eternal, and because of that they move differently. Their silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. Their quietness is not passivity, it is protection. For when something holy is working through you, it is not your job to advertise it. It is your job to honor it. Those who speak too soon often disrupt the very blessing they are trying to bring forth. Every word is a vibration, a release of energy. When you speak of your favor, your calling, your growth to those who have not yet awakened, you hand them a part of your spiritual armor. You give them something to mock, question, or challenge, not because they are evil, but because they do not understand. And what people do not understand, they often try to reduce. But the chosen remain still. They understand that revelation is a process. It unfolds in layers, and not everyone is meant to witness every stage. When you are truly walking with the divine, there is a knowing that develops within you, a knowing that doesn't need external confirmation. You don't have to explain why your energy is different. You don't have to justify why certain things are being stripped away from your life. You don't have to convince anyone of the fire that's been placed in your soul. You simply live it. You embody it. And over time, it becomes undeniable. There is protection in silence. What you keep within cannot be touched. What you keep sacred cannot be interfered with. Those who are truly chosen understand that premature exposure invites unnecessary warfare. And so they move in quiet certainty. They do not announce every step. They do not explain every decision. They do not chase understanding from the world. They are grounded in the knowing that their path is unique, their assignment is divine, and their favor is already written. You must realize, people will always have opinions. Whether you speak or stay silent, they will talk. So let them. Let your life do the speaking. Let your results echo louder than your words. The chosen don't need applause. They don't need followers. They don't need validation. What they need is alignment with their purpose, with their inner voice, with their Creator. When you are marked by grace, you will often be misunderstood. You will often be hidden. Not because you are being punished, but because you are being prepared. Silence is your sanctuary in that preparation. It is where clarity forms. It is where vision strengthens. It is where power grows. So do not feel compelled to share everything. Hold the mystery. Protect the process. Trust the divine rhythm. When the time is right, the world will see. But until then, walk in your glow quietly. Let your silence speak of your strength. Let your restraint be a testament to your inner wealth. And remember, the most powerful moves are made in silence. The most sacred moments are lived, not announced. You are chosen, you are covered, and you are guided. That is enough. Walk in that truth. Let your light shine without commentary, and know that silence is not empty. It is full of power, full of faith, full of purpose. It is the shield you wear while heaven finishes writing your story. What is still forming must be protected. Just like a seed hidden beneath the soil, your blessing is delicate in its early stages. It is full of potential, rich with divine design, but not yet strong enough to withstand the weight of external scrutiny or the vibrations of disbelief. When you speak too soon, when you open your mouth before the roots have taken hold, you expose your sacred process to the winds of doubt, the opinions of others, and the subtle energies that are not in harmony with your vision. Words carry energy, and when you release your intentions, your dreams, or your divine instructions into the atmosphere before they are fully established in your spirit, you give others permission to influence them. Not always intentionally, but through their own fears, envy, skepticism, or limited understanding. Every comment, every raised eyebrow, every "are you sure?" begins to eat away at the certainty you were building in silence. What was once a clear inner knowing becomes fogged by the noise of external input. This is how manifestations begin to dissolve. Not because the dream wasn't real, but because it was shared before it was ready. Your vision is not for public discussion, it is for private devotion. There are things God reveals to you that are meant to be nurtured in the secret place. That sacred space between you and the divine is where strength is cultivated. It is where the foundation is laid. Before the fruit ever shows, the root must grow deep, and the deeper the root, the more lasting the harvest. But when you speak too early, you uproot the process. You open yourself to warfare you were never meant to fight. Premature sharing is an open invitation for premature attacks, not just from others, but from your own wavering mind. The more you talk about what you're building, the more you shift your attention from being to explaining. You move out of alignment and into performance. And performance is exhausting. It drains the energy that was meant for creation. There is wisdom in waiting. There is strength in secrecy. You are not hiding out of fear. You are honoring what is forming. You are protecting what is sacred. Think of the caterpillar in the cocoon. No one disturbs it while it transforms. If you were to crack it open too soon, the butterfly would never fly. In the same way, your vision must remain undisturbed while it takes shape. It needs time, privacy, and silence. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to announce your steps. You do not need to make others understand. What is for you will reveal itself at the appointed time, and when it does, it will speak louder than words ever could. Until then, protect it, guard it. Keep your spiritual womb closed until the birth is undeniable. Not everyone can carry the weight of your dream. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into your promise, and some, even with good intentions, may unknowingly project fear or disbelief onto what you're manifesting. That's why the silence is necessary. That's why the discretion matters. You're not being secretive. You're being wise. Let your life unfold in divine timing. Let the evidence speak for you. Keep your blessing close, like a treasure not yet ready to be unveiled. Let it grow in peace. Let it mature in quiet, and when it's ready, it will not need defending. It will be too solid to be shaken, too rooted to be removed, too blessed to be blocked. Speak less, believe more. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. What you protect today will reward you tomorrow. And what you nurture in secret will shine in public when the time is right. The greatest miracles do not announce themselves. They do not come with trumpet sounds or crowds bearing witness. They happen quietly, beneath the surface, often unseen by the world, but deeply felt by the soul. Just as the seed splits open in the dark earth, pushing silently upward toward the light, so too does transformation unfold within you. Away from the noise, away from the applause, away from explanation. The seed does not shout that it's growing. The tree does not boast that it's about to bear fruit. The caterpillar wraps itself in stillness and silence and disappears from view, not to impress, not to prove, but to become. And when it reemerges, it does so transformed, renewed, free. This is the way of divine growth. It is personal, it is sacred, it is quiet. There is a power in not being seen while you are becoming, in being tucked away while the old version of you dissolves and something stronger, clearer, and more aligned takes its place. Most people will never understand the magnitude of what you're doing in the silence. They will not see the inner wrestling, the letting go, the spiritual labor that takes place behind the scenes. And they're not meant to, because the miracle is not for them, it's for you. You do not need an audience for your healing. You do not need validation for your awakening. When the divine works in you, it rarely comes with a spotlight. It comes in whispers and nudges. In the stillness of the night, when your mind is quiet and your heart is open, that's where the real change takes place. That's where you are reshaped. And the more deeply you allow yourself to lean into that quiet transformation, the more profound the outcome. Let your life do the talking. Let the change in your presence, your energy, your choices become the evidence. You do not need to convince anyone that you're growing. You do not need to explain the shifts you're making. You do not owe anyone access to your sacred becoming. In fact, the more silent you remain, the more powerful the transformation becomes. Because what is hidden is protected, and what is protected has the freedom to flourish. People often look for proof before belief, but miracles don't work that way. Faith precedes sight, growth precedes proof, and results, true, lasting results, are the fruit of patience, trust, and silence. The most powerful moments in your life will not be the ones others celebrate. They will be the moments you decide to choose yourself again and again in silence. The moments you surrender the need to be understood and simply become who you were always meant to be. Do not rush to share. Do not run to explain. You are under no obligation to make your path palatable for others. What you are becoming is divine business. Keep walking in your truth. Keep honoring your inner voice. Let the transformation deepen before you reveal it. When a tree is deeply rooted, it can withstand any storm. So root yourself first, grow first, heal first, and when you bloom, let the blossom speak for itself. Your transformation is not a performance. It is not for applause. It is a return to truth. And when that truth becomes your foundation, you will no longer feel the need to be loud. You will no longer crave recognition. You will simply radiate what you become. Without force, without words. Let the world wonder. Let them feel the shift and not know what happened. Let your silence be your sanctuary. Let your growth be your secret. Because the most powerful miracles happen quietly, and when they are ready, they will be impossible to ignore. So let this be a reminder. When God blesses you, keep your mouth shut. Not from fear, but from wisdom. What is sacred must be protected. What is forming must be hidden. The silent season is not punishment, it is preparation. Let your transformation happen quietly. Your roots grow deeply, and your results speak loudly. Speak less. Move inward. Trust the divine unfolding. You owe no one your blueprint. You owe no one your dream. Your life is proof enough. When the time is right, the world will see what silence built. Thank you for walking this journey within. May you honor your becoming in silence and rise in power without a word. Close your eyes for a moment and dare to believe, dare to know that what you want is already yours. Not tomorrow, not next month, but now. In the unseen realm of spirit, it is complete. You are not creating something from nothing. You are stepping into what already exists, waiting to be claimed by your consciousness. You are not a beggar in this world. You are the operant power. And the only thing that separates you from your desire is the illusion of separation. The moment you imagined it with feeling, the seed was planted. And just like the seed beneath the soil, you do not dig it up every morning to check if it's growing. You water it with faith, you nourish it with imagination, and you act as if the harvest is inevitable. This is how the universe works. It does not operate on panic. It does not bow to your doubt. It moves only in response to your inner certainty. Your job is not to wonder how. Your task is not to micromanage the timing. The universe doesn't need your control. It needs your surrender, your trust, your unwavering belief that what you ask for has already been granted. So walk like it's done, speak like it's done, feel the relief of already having it, and every time doubt creeps in, don't beg. Return to the end. See yourself already living the result. Let that vision become more real than the facts before your eyes. Because here's the truth. The outer world always yields to the inner world. There is nothing to chase, nothing to force. The minute you align with the frequency of the wish fulfilled, you become magnetic to it. It finds you, not because you fought for it, but because you believed in its arrival. And when it delays, remember this: delay is not denial, it is divine timing at work. It is perfection being stitched behind the curtain of time. You do not rush a masterpiece, you trust it. So today, stop checking the clock, start feeling the truth. Live from the end, and the end will meet you. Act as if it's coming, because in truth it already has. Close your eyes for a moment and dare to believe, dare to know that what you want is already yours. Not tomorrow, not next month, but now. In the unseen realm of spirit, it is complete. You are not creating something from nothing. You are stepping into what already exists, waiting to be claimed by your consciousness. You see, you are not a beggar in this world. You are the operant power. And the only thing that separates you from your desire is the illusion of separation. The moment you imagined it with feeling, the seed was planted. And just like the seed beneath the soil, you do not dig it up every morning to check if it's growing. You water it with faith. You nourish it with imagination, and you act as if the harvest is inevitable. This is how the universe works. It does not operate on panic. It does not bow to your doubt. It moves only in response to your inner certainty. Your job is not to wonder how. Your task is not to micromanage the timing. The universe doesn't need your control. It needs your surrender, your trust, your unwavering belief that what you ask for has already been granted. So walk like it's done, speak like it's done, feel the relief of already having it. And every time doubt creeps in, don't beg. Return to the end. See yourself already living the result. Let that vision become more real than the facts before your eyes. Because here's the truth. The outer world always yields to the inner world. There is nothing to chase, nothing to force. The minute you align with the frequency of the wish fulfilled, you become magnetic to it. It finds you, not because you fought for it, but because you believed in its arrival. And when it delays, remember this: delay is not denial, it is divine timing at work. It is perfection being stitched behind the curtain of time, and you do not rush a masterpiece. You trust it. So today, stop checking the clock. Start feeling the truth. Live from the end, and the end will meet you. Act as if it's coming, because in truth, it already has. Imagination is not mere fantasy. It is the hidden workshop of creation, the sacred chamber where the invisible becomes visible. Every structure you see, every life you admire, every reality you call success first existed in imagination. It is not something to be taken lightly or used passively. It is power, the very substance of the unseen shaping itself into form through the one who dares to believe. You were not born to observe reality and accept it as fixed. You were born to reshape it, to walk by inner vision, not by the five senses alone. The moment you accept the truth that imagination precedes manifestation, your life begins to shift from reaction to creation. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You become the cause of them. But this transformation requires conviction. You must imagine with feeling, not as a daydreamer, but as one who knows the unseen is more real than the seen. When you hold an image in your mind consistently and clothe it in emotion, when you inhabit that state as your truth, it begins to form the blueprint of your outer life. Thought alone is not enough. It must feel natural, alive, inevitable. Understand this: life is not waiting to give you what you want. Life is echoing back to you what you believe to be true. If you persist in the assumption that you are abundant, loved, powerful, then life has no choice but to mirror that back to you, not because of luck or effort, but because law demands it. What is impressed upon the imagination with conviction must express itself in the outer world. There is no gap between you and your desire except your own disbelief. The universe isn't withholding anything from you, it is responding to your inner state. So if you desire change, do not look outside of yourself. Go within. Change the movie playing in the theater of your mind, and when you do it with such clarity and feeling that it becomes more real to you than the present moment. This is not delusion, this is creation. It is knowing the truth before it becomes visible. It is walking in faith, not sight. It is recognizing that your inner world is the cause and your outer world is only the effect. The mistake so many make is waiting for evidence before they believe. But the evidence only appears after the belief. That is the great reversal you must embrace. Don't wait on the money to feel wealthy. Don't wait on the love to feel chosen. Don't wait on the opportunity to feel successful. Feel it now. Live from it now. Act from the end, and the end will rush forward to meet you. Every time you imagine something with conviction, you plant a seed. And just like a seed buried in soil, it does not sprout immediately. It moves quietly, secretly under the surface of awareness. But its growth is certain, as long as you don't dig it up with doubt. You must persist in the assumption that it is done, that it is yours, that it is finished. Life bends to the one who believes more in imagination than in appearances. Appearances are fleeting. Imagination is eternal. It holds the pattern, it holds the promise, it holds the power. So do not take it lightly. What you imagine today, you will live tomorrow. What you accept in consciousness now, you will walk in later. Use this gift boldly, use it wisely. Let imagination become your place of dwelling, your home, your refuge. Because the world you see will always reflect the world you've chosen to believe in. And once you know this, once you truly know it, not as theory but as experience, your life will never be the same. Desire is not something to be dismissed or doubted. It is not a weakness or a fleeting wish, it is sacred. It is purposeful. The moment a true desire rises within your heart, it is not born from chance or accident. It is evidence. Evidence that the life you long for already exists in the unseen. It is the signal, the announcement, the whisper from the universe that what you seek is already yours. You are not being teased with what you cannot have. You are being guided toward what is already promised. You must come to see desire not as something you need to chase, but something you need to recognize. It is not the beginning of lack, it is the beginning of fulfillment. If you desire love, it is because love is yours. If you desire freedom, it is because freedom is within you. If you desire more, it is because more is already seeking you. The universe does not play games. It doesn't plant desires only to torment you. It places them like divine seeds in the soil of your soul, waiting for you to claim them, not with your hands, but with your imagination. When you treat desire as sacred, you stop doubting its message. You stop delaying its arrival with disbelief. You begin to understand that you would not want it if you weren't meant to have it. You would not feel the pull unless the path was already prepared. The desire is not the absence of what you seek, it is the arrival of its blueprint in your awareness. From there, you do not have to earn it, beg for it, or chase it. You simply have to accept it, claim it, know it. And how do you claim a desire? Not by shouting it out to the world, not by trying to force its arrival, but by embodying the state of having it now. By knowing inwardly, quietly, with full conviction that it is already done. This is where the true shift happens, not in the outer world, but in the inner world. The moment you accept the desire as fulfilled within, the universe begins its work to reflect it without. The real work is not to hustle or struggle for your desire. The work is to remove resistance, to let go of the idea that it's far away, to abandon the belief that you are unworthy or not ready. Your readiness is shown in your desire. That's the sign, that's the mark, that's the divine permission slip that says, yes, this is your path, now walk it. Every desire is a conversation between your soul and the source of all things. It is communication, it is confirmation. And once you understand this, you treat your desires with reverence, not resistance. You start to feel a deep peace, even before the manifestation appears, because you no longer ask if it's coming, you know it already has. You stop looking for proof. You become the proof. So the next time a deep longing rises in you, don't shrink from it. Don't question it, don't push it away. Welcome it, thank it, and most of all, claim it, because the moment it entered your awareness, it wasn't a request. It was a revelation, a sacred echo of a reality already made, waiting for your faith to open the door. And once you accept it with your whole being, the world must rearrange itself to match your knowing. No, that is the divine promise, and the universe never breaks its word. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to step beyond the boundaries of logic and into the realm of creation. It is not mere pretending. It is embodying a higher truth. A truth that says what you desire already exists, not in some distant future, but here now, within the unseen. You are not waiting for it to happen. You are aligning yourself with the state in which it already had. Living in the end means you no longer think like the version of yourself who lacks it. You think like the version who has received it. You no longer speak from wanting, but from having. You do not ask, will it come? Instead, you declare it is already mine. This shift in consciousness is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It is the only journey you must take, from doubt to knowing, from lack to fulfillment, from wishing. Most people approach their desires from the outside. They try to change the world around them to match what they want inside. But the truth is reversed. The outer world only reflects your inner world. So the fastest way to bring about what you desire is to dwell in the emotional and mental state of its completion. This means thinking from the end, not of the end, not hoping, not longing, but walking in the full awareness that it is done. This is not imagination for entertainment, this is imagination for transformation. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are giving the universe instructions. You are setting the coordinates for your destination. You are saying, this is who I am now, and the world begins to mirror that identity. Feelings are the key, not words, not effort, feelings, because your emotional state is what impresses the subconscious, and it is the subconscious that controls the conditions of your life. So if you desire abundance, you must feel abundant now. If you desire love, you must feel love now. If you desire success, you must walk with the confidence of one who already has it. And if it feels unnatural at first, that's all right. Persist in it. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, so too will your new state take root. Do not wait for permission from the outside world. It will not come. The world does not give you permission to change. It only reflects the change once you've made it. So close your eyes. Enter that sacred space within and ask yourself, how would I feel if it were already true? Then feel it. Let it saturate your thoughts and guide your actions. Let it become your resting place. When you live in the end, you are no longer desperate or needy. You are calm, centered, peaceful, because you know you've already received it in the invisible realm. And the visible must follow. The how and when no longer concern you. Your only job is to remain faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled. This is the secret path to alignment. Not pushing, not striving, but being. being the version of yourself who already has it, who already is it. And when you do this consistently, life reorganizes around you. People show up, circumstances shift, doors open. Not because you forced them to, but because you assumed your rightful place. And the universe had no choice but to respond. So let go of the old identity, release the story of lack, and put on the new self, the self that knows it is done. Think from it, speak from it, feel from it. And most of all, trust it. Because when you live in the end will live through you. Delay is not denial. It is not a rejection, not a cancellation, not a closed door. It is simply a pause in appearance, not a pause in creation. When you understand the nature of reality, you realize that the moment you imagine and believe in something sincerely, it begins. Even if your physical eyes do not yet see it, the roots are growing beneath the surface. The foundation is forming in the unseen. The delay is only a sign that invisible forces are aligning to bring your desire into perfect expression. But here is where many falter. They look at the clock, they stare at the calendar, they count the days, the months, and sometimes the years, and they let the appearance of time whisper lies. It's not coming. Maybe it's not for you. You were foolish to believe. But time is not truth. Time is merely the space in which the unseen becomes seen. It is not your enemy, it is the womb in which your desire is growing. You must learn to trust that once a thing is spoken in faith, once it is felt, accepted, and lived inwardly, it is received. Not will be, it is. But it must appear in its own appointed time. Neither should you disturb your faith with fear, doubt, or questions. Your role is not to manage the timing, but to remain faithful to the vision. Delay is the universe's way of arranging everything perfectly for you, for others involved, and for the greater unfolding. There is no lost manifestation, no missed miracle. Nothing you've imagined in truth is ever forgotten. The universe does not lose track of your order. It hears your prayer, it feels your faith, and it sets things in motion even when you see nothing moving. Do not confuse silence for stillness. Do not confuse the waiting period with abandonment. You are not being ignored. You are being positioned. It is easy to believe when signs are everywhere, but the true test of belief is in the silence, the still moments, the times when the world looks unchanged. That is when your inner knowing must rise. That is when you must say, though I see nothing, I know it is done. That is when the seed of your desire either grows or withers, based not on the outer world, but on your inner conviction. You are being asked to hold the vibration of fulfillment longer than the world has shown it. You are being stretched in faith, refined in patience. This is not punishment. This is preparation for when it comes, and it will. You will not just receive what you ask for, you will have become the person who can sustain it. The delay is not just about the arrival of the thing. It is about your readiness to live in the fullness of it. So do not grow weary, do not trade in your vision for impatience. Let the delay be a reminder of how powerful your desire is. So powerful it requires orchestration beyond what you can see. Trust that what you ask for is already in motion. Trust that even now, behind the curtain of the physical, arrangements are being made, hearts are being cleared. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know when. You only need to know it is done. And the more you can rest in that knowing, the more you allow it to flow freely into your world. Hold your faith when nothing appears to be happening. That's the mark of one who understands the laws of creation, because delay is never denial. Delay is simply the sacred rhythm of divine timing. And when it arrives, you will look back and understand it wasn't late, it was perfect. Stop asking and start knowing. For every time you ask from a place of lack, you reinforce the idea that what you desire is separate from you. You say with your words and your emotions, it is not here yet. And in doing so, you bind yourself to that state of absence. But there is a higher way, a way that transcends asking, hoping, and waiting. It is the way of knowing. Knowing that what you desire is not something to chase, but something to awaken within. To ask once in faith is enough, but to keep asking again and again from fear and doubt is to declare over and over, I don't have it. The universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to your state of being, and if your state is begging, it mirrors lack. If your state is knowing, it mirrors fulfillment. There is a great difference between the one who hopes and the one who remembers. Hope says, maybe it will come, but knowing says, it is already done. When you ask, you are often reaching outward, but when you know, you turn inward. You move into the feeling space of already having, already being. This is not make-believe, this is creation. Everything begins in consciousness. Nothing comes into form unless it is first held in the unseen, known, and embodied. Knowing is the frequency of manifestation because it is aligned with truth. The truth that the moment you desire, you have been granted. Desire is a divine signal. It is not a suggestion. It is not a tease. It is not a possibility. It is a promise. A memory from your higher self, reminding you of what is already yours in the invisible. And when you step into that remembrance, something shifts. You no longer strive, you no longer seek, you sit, you rest. You smile in quiet confidence. Because you are not waiting on life, life is catching up to your knowing. It is not arrogance to claim something as yours before the world can see it. It is faith. It is alignment. It is saying to the universe, I trust the process. I believe in the unseen. I accept that what I have asked for is already on its way. And this inner claim is what opens the gates. Not the desperation of repeated requests, but the calm assurance of belief. You must stop treating your desire like a stranger and start treating it like a memory. It is not outside of you. It is a reflection of who you are becoming. Every time you return to the state of the wish fulfilled, when you think from it, feel from it, and act from it, you are telling the universe, I remember what is mine. And this remembering is the magnet. It draws the unseen into the seen with precision and power. So take your desire off the pedestal, bring it down, place it in your heart. Hold it not as a wish, but as a knowing. When the mind tries to question, return to the feeling. When the world tries to contradict, return to the inner vision. Your knowing must become louder than your senses, more real than the circumstances. That is the true power of creation. The ones who manifest effortlessly are not the ones who ask the loudest. They are the ones who feel the deepest. Who walk in certainty before anything changes. Who do not need to convince the world because they have already convinced themselves. You are not hoping, you are remembering. You are remembering the truth that all things are already yours, that the divine does not tease, it fulfills. That you are not here to chase what is missing, but to call forth what already belongs to you. So stop asking from a place of lack and start knowing from a place of wholeness. That is the bridge between desire and manifestation, not effort but embodiment, not trying but trusting, not pleading but remembering, and in that remembering all things are made new. Faith doesn't watch the clock. It doesn't stare at the ticking hands of time, wondering if the promise is running late. It doesn't count the days or the minutes, measuring progress by what is seen. Faith understands that time is not the master, it is the servant. It bends and flows to the rhythm of your inner conviction. Time may be necessary in the physical world, but it is irrelevant in the world of spirit. In the unseen, what you ask for is already complete. It is done the moment you accept it as real within. But the world will tempt you to doubt. It will whisper that if it hasn't come yet, it may not come at all. That maybe you misunderstood. That maybe you should let go of the dream. But faith is not moved by appearances. Faith doesn't need evidence. It is the evidence. It lives in the unseen, as if it is already seen. It walks in the promise long before the promise becomes visible. You must stop looking at the clock and judging your progress. Stop using time as a ruler to measure your worthiness or your power. Just because it hasn't shown up yet doesn't mean it isn't on the way. The universe is not slow, it is precise, it is intelligent. It is exact in its unfolding. Every second that passes is part of a divine choreography, one that you cannot see in full, but must trust with your whole being. There is a natural gestation period for every desire. Just as a seed takes time to become a tree, your vision takes time to take shape. But that time is not empty, it is not wasted, it is filled with rearrangement, alignment, preparation. People are being moved, circumstances are being shifted, resources are being guided toward you. The path is being cleared behind the scenes, and the only thing that can interrupt this divine order is your disbelief. You do not speed things up by worrying. You do not accelerate the outcome by watching the clock. You bring delay only when you waver in belief, when you step out of the end and start questioning the middle. Your only task is to persist in the assumption that it is done, to remain in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to keep your inner world aligned with the result, even when nothing outside has changed. This is the art of creation, not forcing, not begging, not hurrying, but trusting, and that trust must become your default state. You must learn to rest in the invisible, to relax into the knowing that divine timing is never off. It is never wrong, it is never late, it is always perfect. Faith is not impatient, faith is not anxious, faith is still, it is calm, it is rooted in a deeper truth. It does not need a clock to feel confident. It already knows that what is yours cannot be lost, that what you claimed in spirit must show up in form, that the delay is never denial. It is divine design. So take your eyes off the clock. Take your mind off the how. Return to the feeling. Return to the end. Keep your imagination alive with the image of fulfillment. Speak and walk as one who already possesses the desire. And let time serve you. Let it be the invisible bridge between your belief and your blessing. Time is not your obstacle. It is your ally. It is the gentle space in which your desire takes root and grows into form. Trust it, bless it, and most of all, stop watching it. For when you truly believe, you no longer ask when, you simply say thank you, and you live as if it's already done, because in truth, it is. So now you see, what you seek is not far, not distant, not separate from you. It is here, within. The moment you dare to imagine, you set creation in motion. When you assume the feeling, you align. When you persist in belief, even when nothing outside confirms it, you step into divine timing. You stop asking and start knowing. You walk not by sight, but by the inner conviction that what is yours is already done. The universe is not withholding, it is waiting. Waiting for you to claim, to remember, to relax into the truth. Your desire is already a promise. Faith is your bridge, imagination is your key, and time is simply the servant, not the master. So act as if it's coming, because it is. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, trust in yourself. And with that, thank you for listening, for believing, and for becoming. Close your eyes, not to escape the world, but to see it rightly. The world you know, the life you're living, is but a shadow of what has been prepared for you. The universe has not forgotten you. It has not punished you. It has only been waiting for you to see, not with the eyes of the flesh, but with the eye of faith. What if I told you that nothing was ever missing, that all along what you prayed for, longed for, wept for was already given, but you were too busy searching outside to notice it already lived within? You see, there is a vast difference between asking with hope and asking with knowing. When you know it is done, the heavens respond, not because they suddenly became willing, but because you finally became aligned. The universe operates by law, not chance. And this law bows to belief. It doesn't care how long you've waited. Time is not its concern. It only responds to the assumption you carry now. Not the one you had yesterday, not the one you wish to have tomorrow, but the one you live in now. And here is the mystery. You are not waiting on anything. The universe is waiting on you to believe, to assume, to feel the reality of your desire is already true. You must dare to say, I am that, even when the world calls you foolish, even when your senses mock you. For senses do not lead, you lead them. Imagination is the only path, and faith is your permission slip to enter the life you have always dreamed of. Every desire is a divine whisper, not of what might be, but of what is, waiting for your recognition. Do not beg, do not plead. Affirm, feel, assume. Speak to yourself not as someone waiting, but as someone awakened. The door was never locked. The treasure was never buried. You were simply looking in the wrong direction. Turn inward, look again, see rightly, and you will realize the universe has been waiting for you, not to work harder, not to pray louder, not to chase faster, but to see. And now you have. You are not discovering reality, you are creating it. This is a profound truth that holds the key to unlocking your potential and your power. Most people go through life believing that reality is something external, something that exists independently of their thoughts and beliefs. But this is a misconception. Reality is not a static entity, something that is handed to you or forced upon you. It is, in fact, malleable. It is shaped by your assumptions, your beliefs, and the consciousness you carry within you. Your thoughts are not passive, they are active, they are powerful. Every belief you hold, every assumption you make has an impact on the world around you. The universe is not a cold, indifferent space, but a responsive force that reflects back to you what you hold in your inner world. The things you believe to be true, the images you hold in your mind, and the feelings you attach to those images shape the reality you experience. This is not just a philosophical concept, it is a law of existence. Think about it for a moment. When you assume that something is true about yourself, whether positive or negative, the world around you begins to align with that assumption. If you assume that you are capable and worthy of success, success will begin to show up in your life. If you assume that you are doomed to failure, failure will manifest before you. The universe is responding not to your circumstances, but to the assumptions you hold about those circumstances. This idea runs contrary to the way most people view life. Most people believe that reality is something that happens to them, that the world is an external force that they must react to. They believe that their circumstances dictate who they are and what they can achieve. But this is a limited perspective. When you believe that reality is something you discover, you place yourself in a passive role. You become a victim of the world, waiting for things to change, waiting for conditions to improve. This creates a sense of powerlessness because ultimately you are waiting for something to shift in your external reality in order for you to feel different. But when you realize that you are creating your reality, you shift from a passive observer to an active participant in your life. You no longer wait for things to change outside of you, you begin to change your inner world, and through that change the outer world follows suit. You begin to realize that your circumstances are not set in stone. They are simply reflections of your current assumptions. If you want to change your life, you must change your assumptions. This is the power of assumption. It is not about hoping or wishing, it is about knowing. Knowing that the universe has already given you everything you need. The key to unlocking it all is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you assume that what you desire is already yours, when you live from that place of certainty, the universe begins to reflect that back to you. Reality is not something you discover, it is something you create. The universe has always been responding to your assumptions, not your circumstances. Your circumstances do not define you, they are simply a reflection of what you have assumed to be true up until this point. When you change your assumptions, you change your circumstances. You begin to shape your reality consciously with intention and with the understanding that you are the creator of your experience. Begin today. Start by assuming the best for yourself. Assume that your dreams are already on their way to you. Assume that everything you need is already within your reach. The universe will respond. It always does. It is waiting for you to recognize the truth of who you are and to act from that place of power. Your reality is waiting to shift. It is waiting for you to step into the role of creator. The delay is never denial, it's preparation. This simple truth can change the way you view every challenge, setback, or delay you experience in life. So often, when things don't go the way we want them to, we begin to believe that we are being denied what we desire. We assume that the universe or life itself is against us, holding us back from our goals and dreams. But what if I told you that delay is not a sign of denial, but rather a sign of something greater at work? What if the delay is part of the process, a necessary moment of preparation for the manifestation of your desires? When things don't seem to be working out the way you expect, it can be tempting to think that your efforts are in vain, that you are somehow unworthy, or that the universe has somehow forgotten about you. However, this belief stems from a limited view of the way things unfold. Life does not work in the linear, logical, or predictable manner we often want it to. What we perceive as delay is often just a sign that things are aligning in ways we cannot yet see or understand. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, works in mysterious ways to bring you exactly what you need in the exact timing that will serve you best. Think about it. Many times, things don't come to fruition because there is a deeper layer of preparation happening behind the scenes. Imagine you are planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's sprouting. You trust that beneath the surface, something is happening, the roots are forming, the seed is breaking open, and though you can't see it, the plant is preparing to emerge. In the same way, your desires are being nurtured beneath the surface. Every effort you make, every step you take, even if it doesn't seem to result in immediate success, is contributing to the eventual manifestation of what you seek. Every belief you have, every intention you set, every action you take is helping to align the conditions necessary for your dreams to materialize. There is a divine timing to all things. The universe isn't holding back, it is preparing you for what is to come. It's preparing the environment, the people, the opportunities, and the circumstances that will allow your desires to manifest in the most perfect way possible. Sometimes, the delay is simply because you are not yet in the right place mentally or emotionally to fully embrace what is coming. You may need to grow in some way, develop certain skills, or let go of old patterns before you can fully step into your new reality. Think of all the experiences you've had that now, in hindsight, seem like perfect preparation for where you are now. You may have gone through struggles, hardships, or challenges that at the time felt like they were holding you back. But now you can see that those experiences shaped you, built resilience within you, and prepared you for the success or abundance you now enjoy. You learned lessons, gained wisdom, and honed your abilities. Without those moments of perceived delay or struggle, you wouldn't be the person you are today, ready for what you are about to receive. The delay is never a sign that things are not working. On the contrary, it is a sign that things are working in ways you might not immediately see. The universe is an intelligent, responsive force, and it is always working in your favor. What appears as a delay is simply the universe aligning everything to fit into place. The people you need to meet, the experiences you need to have, the skills you need to develop. It is all happening, just not on the timeline you may have imagined. The preparation is taking place in ways you may not yet understand. Trust that everything you've experienced, everything you've worked for is not wasted. Even when it feels like you're stuck, when it feels like nothing is happening, know that behind the scenes, everything is aligning perfectly for your highest good. It is only a matter of time before what you've been waiting for reveals itself. The universe has been preparing you for this moment, for this manifestation, and when the time is right, you will see. So never doubt that the delay is in your favor. The universe is simply preparing the perfect conditions for your desires to come to life in ways more magnificent than you could ever imagine. Imagination is not passive, it is the seed of all creation. This is a powerful truth that can revolutionize the way you approach life. Many people tend to view imagination as something distant from reality, as if it is simply a fleeting daydream or a form of escapism. But in truth, imagination is the very fabric of reality itself. It is the first spark of creation, the invisible force that precedes all material manifestation. What you dare to see within, the universe dares to make visible without. To truly understand the power of imagination, you must first recognize that everything around you, every object, every experience, every relationship, was once a thought in someone's mind. Nothing in this world exists without first being imagined. Imagination is the starting point for everything that comes into existence. Every invention, every discovery, every work of art, and every piece of progress begins as an idea. Before it can become something tangible, it first must be conceived in the mind. It is the mental image, the vision, that precedes the physical reality. When you create a mental image of your desired reality, you are doing more than just entertaining a thought. You are planting the seed of creation. Your mind is a powerful tool that can shape your external world, and everything begins with your ability to envision it. The universe operates in harmony with your inner world. When you begin to vividly imagine something, you align your consciousness with the possibility of that thing becoming real. And as you hold that image within, the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring that image into your life. This is not some abstract concept or theory. It is a law of the universe. The law of attraction, the law of creation, whatever you want to call it, states that your inner state determines your outer reality. The images you hold in your mind, the assumptions you carry in your heart, the feelings you associate with those images, all act as instructions to the universe. It doesn't matter if you believe this consciously or not. The universe responds to what you believe to be true. Imagination is not just a passive mental exercise, it is an active force that is constantly at work. The more vividly you can imagine a reality that feels true to you, the more quickly the universe will move to bring that reality into your life. Imagination is the unseen blueprint that the universe follows in creating your experiences. The clearer and more detailed your vision, the more precisely the universe will match it with the circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with that vision. Imagine that you are an artist standing before a blank canvas. Your imagination is the paint, and your life is the masterpiece. The strokes you make, the colors you choose, and the patterns you create all start within your mind. If you imagine a world of abundance, love, and success, that is the world you will begin to see reflected in your life. If you imagine scarcity, fear, and failure, that too will show up. The external world is simply a reflection of the internal world, and the internal world is shaped by your imagination. But here's the key: imagination does not have to be distant or detached from your current reality. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're experiencing right now, your imagination can transcend your current circumstances and create a new reality. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or for things to fall into place. You have the power to create your desired reality right now, in this moment, through the images you hold in your mind. The universe is always responding to your internal vision, whether you are conscious of it or not. It is responding to your beliefs, your expectations, and the pictures you paint in your mind. When you dare to see the possibility of something better, something greater, the universe dares to make it visible. It is not about forcing things to happen or trying to control every detail. It is about trusting that your inner vision will unfold in perfect timing. Your imagination is the seed, and the universe is the fertile ground ready to nourish and bring it to life. So, if you want to change your external reality, start by changing what you see within. Imagine the life you desire as already real. See it as if it were happening right now. Feel the emotions of having it and know that the universe is already conspiring to bring it into your life. What you dare to see within, the universe dares to make visible without. The power is within you to create the life you've always dreamed of. Begin today by using your imagination to see it. The universe will follow. Your inner state is the cause. The world is the mirror. This profound truth reveals the deep connection between your thoughts, beliefs, and the reality you experience. The world around you is not a random series of events or circumstances beyond your control. It is, in fact, a reflection of what you hold true about yourself. The way you perceive yourself, the beliefs you carry about your worth, your abilities, and your potential, all influence the way life unfolds before you. If you want to change your external circumstances, you must first change what you accept as true about yourself. The concept is simple. Everything in your life is a reflection of your inner world. The people you encounter, the opportunities that come your way, the challenges you face, everything is mirroring your thoughts and beliefs. Think of your life as a vast mirror, one that reflects the internal image you have of yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy, incapable, or undeserving of success and happiness, that belief will be reflected back to you in the form of experiences that reinforce those ideas. On the other hand, if you see yourself as capable, deserving, and worthy of abundance, the mirror of the world will reflect those qualities in your reality. This is the great power you hold, the ability to shape your world by changing your inner state. Too often, people look at their external circumstances and believe they are the cause of their suffering or dissatisfaction. They think, if only I had a better job, or if only I had more money, or if only the people around me would change, then things would be better. But this mindset is flawed because it places the power outside of oneself. The true cause of your reality lies within. Your external world is merely a reflection of your internal beliefs and assumptions. Consider for a moment the times in your life when you have faced a difficult situation or challenge. What did you believe about yourself in that moment? Did you see yourself as strong, resourceful, and capable of overcoming the obstacle? Or did you see yourself as a victim of circumstances, powerless to change your situation? Your perception of yourself in those moments shaped how you responded to the challenge. If you believed you were weak or unable to handle the situation, your actions would likely reflect that belief. However, if you saw yourself as strong and capable, you would approach the challenge with confidence and a sense of purpose, which would lead to different results. The reflection in the world changes when you change the image you hold of yourself. The key to changing your life lies in shifting your self-perception. Begin by recognizing that the circumstances you face are not who you are. They are merely the external manifestation of your internal beliefs. If you want different outcomes, you must change your beliefs. You must stop accepting the old, limiting ideas about who you are and start accepting the truth of your power, potential, and worth. This shift in perception requires a deep level of self-awareness and self-acceptance. It means looking honestly at the stories you tell yourself about your abilities, your value, and your place in the world. Are these stories empowering you or limiting you? Are they based on your true potential, or are they the result of past experiences, conditioning, or the opinions of others? Once you recognize that you have the power to change these internal narratives, you begin to shift the reflection in your life. As you change what you accept as true about yourself, the world will begin to mirror those changes. People will respond to you differently, opportunities will open up, and circumstances will align to support your new self-image. It's not about trying to force things to happen externally, it's about aligning your inner state with the reality you desire. When you do, the world will reflect that alignment in ways you could never have anticipated. The power to change your life is within you, and it starts with changing what you accept as true about yourself. The world is a mirror, and it will reflect whatever you believe about yourself. Change your beliefs, change your self-perception, and watch as the reflection in your life transforms before your eyes. You are not a passive participant in this process. You are the creator. Your inner state is the cause, and the world, in all its beauty and complexity, is the mirror that reflects your inner truth. You've already been answered. You just haven't looked with new eyes. This simple yet profound statement points to a truth that most people overlook. The answers to your deepest desires, the solutions to your challenges, and the fulfillment of your dreams have always been available to you. The only thing standing between you and the manifestation of what you seek is your ability to perceive it. The moment you shift your perspective, everything you've been waiting for becomes clear. The universe has already responded. It's just a matter of adjusting your vision to see it. For so long, we are conditioned to believe that our desires exist outside of us, that we must chase them, struggle for them, or wait for the perfect moment when everything aligns. But what if I told you that the very moment you decide to believe it is done, the process of creation is complete? What if the reality you've been striving for has always existed, and your role is simply to recognize it, to claim it as yours? The key to unlocking this truth lies in understanding that reality is not something that needs to be forced into being. It is not something that happens only after a series of external circumstances fall into place. Everything you seek already exists within the realm of possibility, within your own consciousness. The moment you align your inner state with the certainty that it is done, your external world must reflect that belief. What you think you are waiting for is already on its way. It is only your perception of it that needs to shift. It is all too easy to fall into the trap of waiting for external validation, for circumstances to change before we believe something is possible. We wait for a sign, for a breakthrough, for the world to align with our desires. But this mindset keeps us trapped in a state of lack, always waiting for something to happen. The truth, however, is that the moment you fully believe it is done, you unlock the power to see that it always was. Your belief, your faith, is the key that unlocks the door to your desired reality. Think of it this way. Imagine that you are standing in front of a painting. The image on the canvas exists in its entirety, but you cannot see it clearly because your perception is clouded by doubt or uncertainty. When you step back and shift your perspective, suddenly the picture becomes clear and you see the full image that was always there. In the same way, your desires, your dreams, and your goals are not outside of you, waiting to be manifest. They are already a part of you, already present in your life, and only your ability to perceive them needs to change. What you are seeking is not something that needs to be created, it is something that needs to be revealed. Your role is not to make something happen, but to recognize and accept the reality that is already yours. The moment you stop doubting, stop waiting for external proof, and truly believe that it is already done, your reality will shift. You will begin to see the opportunities, people, and circumstances that have always been there, but that you may have previously overlooked. This shift in perception requires a deep level of trust. You must trust that the universe has already answered your request, that it is not withholding anything from you. When you fully believe that your desires are already fulfilled, you stop chasing them and instead you begin to walk in alignment with the reality you wish to create. The answers have always been there. It was simply a matter of you learning to see them with new eyes. In that moment of clarity, you will realize that the struggle, the waiting, and the doubts were never necessary. Everything you sought was already within your reach. The moment you believe it is done, you will see that it always was. The reality you desire is not a distant dream or a future event. It is a present reality that simply needs your full acknowledgement and acceptance. When you stop seeking outside of yourself and begin to look within, you will recognize that you have always had everything you need to create the life you desire. There is nothing to chase, only something to awaken to. This simple but profound statement can completely shift the way you approach life. So often we live with the belief that success, happiness, or fulfillment is something that must be pursued, something that lies just out of reach, requiring endless effort and struggle. We chase after our desires, believing that only through hard work, sacrifice, or waiting for the perfect moment can we finally attain what we seek. The truth is, there is nothing to chase. What you desire is not somewhere out there in the distance. It's already within you, waiting for you to awaken to it. The universe isn't holding back. It is waiting for you to recognize that it's already yours. Everything you seek, everything you dream of already exists in the realm of possibility. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that it isn't. The key to unlocking the life you desire isn't through effort or pursuit, it's through awareness and awakening. When you wake up to the truth that everything you desire is already available to you, you stop chasing and start receiving. You begin to align yourself with the abundance that has always been present. The act of chasing implies lack. When you chase something, you are unconsciously telling yourself that it is not yet yours, that it is somewhere ahead of you, just out of reach. This mindset keeps you in a perpetual state of striving, never fully satisfied with where you are, always looking ahead, believing that fulfillment lies in the future. But what if the future you're waiting for is already here? What if the life you're seeking is not something that needs to be obtained, but something that needs to be recognized? In truth, the universe operates in a way that responds to your inner state. It doesn't hold anything back from you. The abundance, the love, the success, the peace you desire is not reserved for someone else or for some future time. It's available to you now. All you need to do is recognize that it already exists within the fabric of your reality. Your dreams are not separate from you. They are already woven into the present moment, waiting for your acknowledgement. The moment you stop chasing and start recognizing, you'll see that what you've been seeking was always yours. So how do you shift from a mindset of chasing to one of awakening? It begins with a change in perspective. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you're striving to attain, start shifting your attention to what you already possess, what is already available to you. Look at the resources, opportunities, and potential within you and around you. Look at your own power, your ability to create, and your worthiness to receive all that you desire. The universe is not withholding anything. It is waiting for you to wake up to the truth that you already have everything you need to create the life you desire. When you begin to recognize that what you seek is already yours, your energy shifts. No longer are you in a state of lack, striving to fill an empty space. Instead, you come from a place of abundance and confidence, knowing that you are worthy of the life you want, knowing that the universe is already conspiring to bring it to you. This shift in consciousness changes everything. Opportunities begin to show up, people align with your vision, and circumstances start to favor your desires. Not because you're chasing them, but because you've awakened to the truth that they were always meant for you. This is where the real power lies, in the recognition that everything you've ever wanted has always been available to you. There is no need for endless striving or chasing. You simply need to awaken to it, to align yourself with the truth that the universe is always responding to your beliefs and your internal state. When you stop chasing, you start receiving. When you stop looking outside of yourself for fulfillment, you begin to find it within. The universe isn't withholding. It's not waiting for you to prove your worthiness. It's waiting for you to wake up and see that you are already worthy, already deserving, and that everything you've dreamed of is already yours. There is nothing to chase. There is only something to awaken to, something to recognize. And when you do, you see that your desires were always a part of your reality, waiting for you to step into them. In conclusion, the truth is that everything you desire has always been available to you. The universe isn't holding anything back. It is simply waiting for you to recognize that it's already yours. The moment you stop chasing and start awakening to your inner power, to the truth that what you seek is already within reach, your reality will shift in ways you cannot even imagine. You are not a passive participant in life, but an active creator, and the world around you reflects your internal state. The answers you seek have always been present, and the key to unlocking them lies in shifting your perspective and recognizing your own worth. There is nothing to chase, only something to awaken to. Your desires, your dreams, and the life you've always imagined are not far away. They are right here, waiting for you to claim them. When you fully believe that it is done, you will see that it always was. Thank you for your time and attention. May you walk forward with the knowledge that the life you desire is already yours, waiting for you to step into it.